Thanks for being here. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order on December 9th, 2025, and ask the city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Present.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Present.
Commissioner Wilson?
Present.
Mayor Bray?
Present. I would ask Commissioner Smith to say the invocation tonight, and then we'll remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we thank you for your grace and goodness. May your face continually shine upon us so that your ways may be known in our communities. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, City Manager, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
Mayor, no additions, but one deletions. In agreement by both parties, the employee grievance appeal will be removed from tonight's agenda.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And first up is a new employee introduction, and I would invite Taylor Morshing and Greg Shelton to come up and introduce them. And I don't think Greg's here.
He is out sick.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Taylor.
All right. Thank you for having us here today. First, I'm going to introduce Lamira Askew right here. She is our new recreation specialist for Paducah Parks and Recreation. It's a new role for Lamira. Joined the recreation division after serving the last 6+ years as our administrative assistant. Lamira is a graduate of West Kentucky Community and Technical College. She supported our department in many ways in the past, but moving forward as a recreation specialist, you'll see her helping with our day camps, our summer camps, operations at the Robert Cherry Civic Center, and conducting many special events throughout the year. Just last Saturday, she ran the candy cane hunt in downtown Paducah. Beyond her career, Lamira is busy raising her 6 children. She also loves to bake in her free time. I know she's excited for a new role with Paducah Parks and Rec, and we're happy to have her on the recreation team.
Welcome.
Congratulations, Lamira.
Yeah.
Also to my left is Coben Gray, who I'd like to introduce as our new park supervisor. He started December 1st in that role. He spent the last 10+ years in construction, property and building maintenance, and most recently is working at Baptist Health Paducah. Coben will be leading our parks maintenance crews as they work to keep our park system safe, functional, and attractive. He'll be helping with special event support as well, and he got a crash course in the Christmas parade this last day. Coben's originally from Livingston County, where he earned the rank of an Eagle Scout as a youth, and he currently lives in West Paducah with his wife and 2 kids, and he is still active in the Scouts, serving as a Cub Master for PAC 105. I know he's looking forward to serving the City of Paducah, our citizens, and all of our visitors. So, Coben Gray.
Welcome aboard, Coben. Welcome aboard. Okay, next up, and Taylor can just stay up. We had quite a Christmas parade this past weekend, and so we have some awards, and I'll turn it over to you, Taylor, to tell us about them.
All right, thank you. First off, I would like to thank all of the groups and entries that participated in last Saturday's City of Paducah Kentucky Christmas Parade, which was themed Sounds of Christmas. The parade was held Saturday, December 6th, and we had 100 parade entrants, which was very consistent with last year. I'd also like to thank all of our city staff who worked the parade as well. There were around 60 people working the streets, trying to keep everyone safe so they could have fun at the Christmas parade. Today we would like to recognize the winners from our 6 judging categories as voted on by our 3 Christmas parade judges. The 3rd place winners do receive $200, 2nd place receives $250, and 1st place receives $30, and those checks will be mailed to the participants. The 1st place winners were invited to be here with us tonight, and it looks like we have a number of them with us. And when we announce your name, we'll ask you to come up. We have a certificate for you. Then we'll have you stand over there by The backdrop there, we'll take a group picture at the end. All right, so we'll get going. All right, in our themed float category, third place was Drake Lighting, second place was Hooks Events Incorporated, and first place was Darling Ingredients. I think they're here tonight. There we go.
Taylor, you want to get your picture?
We'll have them all, you want to do it? One group?
Okay.
Just
Just
hang
stand
out,
there, yeah.
just hang out up there for a minute, sorry. You won't look as conspicuous as in a moment.
All right, next category was our religious float category. Third place was St. Matthew Lutheran Church, second place was Rest Church, and first place was Washington Street Baptist Church.
That sounds like an inside deal.
I've got all my
That sounds like an inside
Washington
deal.
Street working up tonight.
We won't be able to stand them the rest of the meeting.
All right, next category is the non-float division. Third place was Rather Ride Than Work. Second place was Little Tractor and Equipment Company. And first place was Goodwin Farms. And they could not be here with us tonight. They let me know that. All right, next category is our school float division. Third place was Morgan Elementary School. Second place was Lone Oak Middle School, Every Flash Matters. And first place was Forest Friends.
Go ahead.
Next division was Drill Team. Third place was Center Stage Dance Academy. Second place was Fingerprint Dance Studios. And first place was Explosive Force Dance Team.
Shouldn't they be like dancing to the?
I think they danced out Saturday.
Yes. All right, then our final category was the bands. Third place was Paducah Tillman High School Band of Blue. Second place was McCracken County High School Band. And first place was Massac County High School Marching Patriots.
You guys beat some tough competition. Congratulations.
Do our best here with this photo. Everyone hold your certificates. You. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone, again. And just a reminder, next year's Christmas parade will again be on the first Saturday in December, and we look forward to having everyone back for that.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
It was a great job.
Okay, next up on the agenda is a annual presentation from Paducah Power, and Doug Hanley's going to give us the exciting audit report.
Yeah, that was fun. This will not be fun.
I told him to keep it short. I said keep it short.
He's got some good news, though.
I did prepare this based on almost the exact same presentation that I made last year, with a couple of little changes highlighted in red there. I want to go over highlights. I'll talk about financial stability and control, but I also want to talk about this year. I want to really emphasize financial strength. And last year was talking about an additional revenue opportunity. Well, this year that opportunity is realized, and you can see it in the results. I also want to add a few comments about looking forward, and then the reason I'm here is to ask you to receive and file this report. So, first of all, financial stability. And this is a graph of the actual Paducah Power System rates for the past 4 years compared to what the rate would have been if you had taken the January 2022 rate and adjusted it for inflation every year. And so the lower number is our rate. The higher number is what it would be just for inflation. So our rates are 17% below what they would have been if you had adjusted them just for inflation. So we're pretty proud that Paducah Power System rates to consumers are helping consumers control their monthly bills. So I would talk about financial control. That's where last year this chart, this table of numbers, I was bragging about how all of our actuals came in at like 95% of budget. And if you look at this, you might want to just scratch the word control, because this looks out of control, but kind of in a good way. Bear with me. If you look at the revenue, it's a lot more than budgeted. It's because we sold a lot more kilowatt hours. You sell a lot more kilowatt hours, then you have a lot more purchase power and generation expense. That's why those are so much higher. The items that we control locally, T&D expense and overhead, well within budget. And as long as your revenues are growing by more than your expenses, the bottom line is a lot more. So this is really a pretty strong financial picture.
It's very positive.
So what happened? Well, that gets to the additional revenue opportunity that we talked about as an opportunity that has now been realized. And that is the revenues that we're getting from Bitcoin mining customers. And just to show you how big they are, in terms of sales, their two customers are the top two largest customers in terms of electricity sales, and they make up over 1/4 of the total system sales. Those two customers are bigger than the other 8 customers in the top 10 by double. So it's a lot of kilowatt hours that we're selling, and the reason that these budget numbers or these actual numbers are so far out of line with the budget is, and I tried to explain this last year, is that we don't budget for these customers because, they arrive in these containers, they set up like that, and they can leave like that. So we don't want to budget and rely on those revenues and have them go away, and now we're stuck with costs that we have to recover from all of our other customers. So we treat these revenues as sort of outside the budget so that it's extra, and it's always good news when we get it. So we have the effect of the Bitcoin mining revenues is a lot more revenues, but a lot more power costs. We have a low margin on what we sell to them, but we've structured it in a way to practically eliminate any risk to the utility. We take in a big deposit. We bill them what our costs are directly related to them, and then we add a margin to that. That distribution charge that we collect, we take 10% of that and immediately apply that to our power cost adjustment calculation. So every month, all customers in the system are getting an immediate benefit from the Bitcoin revenues. The other 90% goes into a rate stabilization fund. Now that means it's not like budgeted for current operating expenses, but we can take that rate stabilization fund and pay off long-term debt or use it for capital expenditures. And that has a long-term effect of lowering the rates to everybody on the system. So kind of this graph is Bitcoin revenues go into the piggy bank, and the piggy bank is used to build a substation. And the other line is like with bigger and more capacity from our substation, we could actually add more Bitcoin customers to the system. So that kind of leads into, looking forward, what's going on. Kind of financially, the big expenses that we've had and are having is 2 major substation upgrades. One's just recently completed and it cost $5 million. Another one is now in progress and it's going to end up costing $6.5 million. Now, these are huge expenses for a utility to absorb on an annual basis. So what we've been able to do is finance these. Most of the time, this would be a long-term debt, a bond or something like that, and spread out over 30 years. We're financing these using short-term borrowings with a 5-year amortization, and we're going to use the Bitcoin revenues to pay it off probably sooner than that. So that's a big deal, and it's a big positive. It's going to have a long-term beneficial impact on our rates. The other thing that's going on, you probably are starting to hear about the Fiber to the Home project. We're being very strategic about where we're rolling that out, and we've done a pilot to develop data on the cost and the take rates based on different demographics and the types of homes, the types of neighborhoods, and the type of electricity service that you get. And so we're using that cost data and the take rates that we learn from that to prioritize different zones based on what the likelihood is that we'll be able to achieve positive cash flow from that zone. So that's in the works, and that's gearing up, and you'll probably hear more about it. The other thing you're probably going to hear more about is over the next year or so is we're going to have a pretty significant turnover in our management team. We're planning for that. We have succession planning strategy underway. We've had one significant new hire already, and we'll start. We have some people that are probably going to be elevated from within, and at least one person more probably hired from outside. But that's our strategy, but we've got a plan. So, in summary, the financial audit, the report, the audit opinion is clean. The remarks and comments were all positive. The financial condition is solid and strong and even improving, and our prospects are very promising. So I'm here to ask you to receive and file the report. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Just really a comment. I know that we're busy with the fiber, but I would like to make a comment that the people that have Paducah Power Fiber are very happy with it. It's very fast, but also that that if you buy Paducah Power Fiber, you're shopping at home because it's a homegrown, home-owned company, and so and also may help with our power rates too. So I'm putting a plug in.
Thank you.
The great work that y'all are doing.
It's a good service.
Yeah.
It's fast. We have good response times for, and if you have a question or problem, you call. We're right there.
Yeah.
We hear you. We're out there that same day.
Doug, how many fiber customers do you have?
It's, I can't, don't quote me because I don't know. But it's
A lot.
not, well, it's not a lot yet.
Okay.
It's really not a lot yet. We have,
Are you adding customers?
yes, we've been, like I said, deliberate about it. We did a pilot project and we're not trying to canvass the whole city all at once. We just want to look at these areas and see what we get. And we got, in the range of 100 or so in that, just to get data. And then we're just now rolling out this crowd source program where people can go on the website and say, yes, I'd like to get that in my neighborhood. So we'll start to collect the responses by zone and say which zones are most interested in getting the fiber. And then we look at our data and our experience from the pilot project, and it says, well, this would be a very expensive neighborhood to serve. This other neighborhood, they want it just as bad as it's going to be real easy to roll it out there, so we might go there first.
The reason I ask is because there's just a lot of competition, it seems like, right now in the city. I mean, I ran into another company over at the chamber last week, I got introduced to, and, there's people laying fiber, and people are using our fiber, competitors, I guess you'd say. And so, I'm just kind of wondering about the landscape in general.
Yeah, well, we have to be careful, and we can't just go everywhere all at once, and they may beat us in some places, but where we go, we're gonna be the better service provider.
Doug, what would make a neighborhood easy to serve as opposed to another neighborhood?
Sure, good question. If you have a overhead electric service in your neighborhood, then the fiber comes in overhead, and that's easy. And if you have underground electric service, then the fiber has to come underground. That means we have to dig holes and, run things from down the street underground, and then each location from those little green boxes that are out there in the yard, those from there to the corner of your house somewhere, that has to be underground too. So that's a little bit more expensive.
Thank
you. And again, just as important is the take rate. If everybody in the neighborhood, everybody wants it, we'll do it underground. But if it's only 2 or 3, it's going to be hard to justify.
But are you out calling going door to door, and are you trying to promote the service in areas where it would be economically advantageous to?
We're just rolling out this online program to collect responses from people, and we've already started to collect responses without this program. Would you like, get on the website, do you want to get Paducah Power fiber? And so we have little red dots all over the map, and we start to see where it's more dense, but we haven't committed to, go here now yet, because we haven't collected all of the data yet.
Commissioner Wilson, you're on the board. Do you have any comments or input on all this?
Doug covered it all. Great job.
You're in a hurry.
Okay.
You have a great staff that works really hard, and they've looked for a lot of opportunities to be able to lower the cost.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Doug, for being here. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, Doug.
Good presentation.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, we have Shannon Crockett here, who wants to make some comments tonight. We only have one. Just remind you, Shannon, you got 3 minutes, so
really slow, so. Appreciate everybody giving me the opportunity to talk here for a second. I'm here tonight just as a concerned citizen of the community. I've been here in town about 7 years. I came from Illinois, so just across the river, but I worked over here, went to church over here, did a lot of activities over here, and about 7 years ago we decided to move to Paducah. And during that time, we love the community, we love the charm, the character of our town. I've started doing some real estate investing, and I've read some things on the agenda today or this week, and just a little bit concerned about the proposal for the way I read it. I'm not an attorney, so I'm just a redneck trying to read stuff. And my take on it is we're getting ready to get basically an occupancy tax for all residential real estate for rentals. And my concern is, one, it's a pretty big cost for folks who do have their own rentals. That cost is going to get passed on to our renters. There are some deadbeat and lousy landlords in the town. Nobody will disagree with that. But I'd urge y'all to think about the fee structure, the cost it's going to have on folks. There should be avenues already in place to go after folks who are not taking care of their properties and who have hazardous things in their properties. My big concern is just for a few years, I guess, years ago when I first moved here, the perception of Paducah from people I worked with, people that I knew, was kind of negative on being a place to promote people to invest in, like especially real estate folks. And I think the city's done a lot of effort in the last few years to improve that. And I think that adding the extra cost and burden to the landlords and also the tenants to get a yearly inspection and just coordinate that just puts an extra burden on folks. It's going to put a burden on the city staff as well, and it looks like another way to get more money from us. I don't want to be insulting, but we had a large tax increase with the 911 parcel fee. Every year we have public hearings required by law because we go over the minimum or the max that we can raise taxes, and we go up it's just a little bit every year. It's not thousands and thousands every year for anybody, but it's an amount that it adds up over time and makes it difficult. So I'll just ask for y'all to think about it really hard. And maybe my perception of what we're looking at having is not really what it is, but to me it just kind of looks like that. And I have a lot of friends who kind of think the same way. So I just ask y'all's very sincere looking into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you'll be able to stay for the discussion, because we're going to introduce the ordinance tonight. I'm sure we'll have a lot of discussion. This is the first reading, and so we'll get into it when we do the reading. But thank you for your comments. Okay, before we move to the consent agenda, I just wanted to mention that we've had a couple of meetings where we have discussions about golf carts. And so, there's been a lot of discussion, I think, in the community for and against golf carts. We're really trying to find a way, that the folks that want to and can safely operate golf carts, in the right areas, that we give people that opportunity, but not be a burden on people who do not. So we haven't arrived at that just yet, but we haven't forgotten it, and it's not something that we're going to just bury. It's something that hopefully that we can talk about, hopefully on the first meeting in January. So I just wanted to mention that in case people were wondering. And with that, I'll move to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by our Board of Commissioners, and they'll be enacted by one motion and one vote. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless one of our board members so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. The city clerk will read the items recommended for approval unless there's anybody that has any. And so I'll go ahead and ask the clerk to read, please.
Approve minutes for the November 25th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Receive and file documents. Reappointment of Greg McKeel to the Brooks Stadium Commission. Said term shall expire December 5th, 2029. Personnel actions. A municipal order authorizing and approving a contract for services between the City of Paducah and Bacon Farmer Workman Engineering and Testing, Incorporated, for a not-to-exceed amount of $153,000 for the design and engineering services for the Greenway Trail Phase 7 Southside Expansion Project, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same. A municipal order of the City of Paducah authorizing an access agreement and addendum with Terracon Consultants Incorporated and ratifying the mayor's execution of said agreement and addendum.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. We have one municipal order tonight, and it's for a promotion, and I'll go ahead and ask the city clerk to please read it.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Approving an Employment Agreement Between the City of Paducah and Audra Kyle for Employment as Director of Finance and authorizing the mayor to execute same."
So moved.
Second.
City manager?
Mayor and Commission, it was with great pleasure to bring forth this recommendation to you this evening. As you'll recall, this past summer, we had our longtime finance director decide that it was time for him to retire and seek other opportunities and slow down life a little bit. And we wish him well in that, but we did a nationwide search, and we came to the conclusion that our top candidate was right inside the finance department, and it is with great pleasure and honor that I recommend us entering into an employment contract with Audra Kyle to be our next director of finance.
Great. I was involved in the final interview process, and it became clear to me that Audra was well qualified and the best candidate for the job, and so I'm proud to be able to support that recommendation, myself, and
Looks like the whole staff's here.
wait till we vote. Don't get ahead of yourself.
I think you're good.
All right, call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye.
Down.
Congratulations, Audra.
Now the hard work begins.
So we have two ordinances to adopt tonight, and I'll ask the city clerk to read the first one.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Creating a New Article of Chapter 106, Taxation of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, related to abandoned urban properties." This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance would create a new tax category for properties classified as abandoned urban property under Kentucky law. This tool, authorized by KRS 92.305 and KRS 132.012, is intended to address long-term vacant and neglected properties that create safety hazards and negatively affect neighborhoods. An abandoned urban property means any vacant structure or vacant or unimproved lot or parcel of ground in a predominantly developed urban area which has been vacant or unimproved for a period of at least 1 year, and which, because of its dilapidated, unsanitary, unsafe, vermin-infested, or otherwise dangerous to the safety of persons, it is unfit for its intended use, by reason of neglect or lack of maintenance, has become a place for the accumulation of trash and debris, or has become infested with rodents or other vermin, has been tax delinquent for a period of at least 3 years has had a methamphetamine contamination notice posted as provided in KRS 224.1-410 for a period of at least 90 days, and owner has neither appealed the notice nor provided a certificate of decontamination during 90 days, or it is located within a development area established under KRS 65.7049, 65.7051, and 65.7053. This ordinance would apply a tax rate of $1.50 per $100 of assessed value to qualifying properties. Further, the Fire Prevention Division shall adopt a policy for compiling the list of abandoned urban property. The Code Enforcement Board shall be responsible for reviewing the Fire Prevention's recommended list each year and determining which properties legally meet the definition of abandoned urban property. The Code Enforcement Board will also hear and decide all owner appeals, and its certified list shall become the official list used for the applying of the abandoned urban property tax rate.
So moved.
Second.
So, this, we've discussed this ordinance at length. We're trying to, we did a lot of analysis and research to figure out the best way to try to get at some of these empty buildings where people acquire them and they just sit there and they deteriorate. I had lunch with, David Wilkins at Main Street today, and we've got a couple of buildings downtown. I'm not sure who owns them, but he's had a construction expert come in there and take a look at them, and they said deteriorating roofs take a couple $100,000, really just to stabilize them. So, nothing that we do is going to do anything quickly. Nothing's going to happen as a result of this overnight, tomorrow, next week. But we've got to, I think the whole purpose is we've got to do something to try to put in place a mechanism to take a look at these buildings as they begin to age and be able to be more proactive. So, I pushed this ordinance, for the last 12 months. And again, nothing's going to happen overnight, but at least it's a first step. So, any comments or thoughts from anyone?
I agree with it, because if these buildings, if they deteriorate, reach that point, more often than not, it's the city and the taxpayers that are on the hook for
Exactly.
demolishing the building. So it's not a good situation for anyone, really. And it's not like we're making money on this. It's really an incentive for the owner to,
the increased tax rate is,
it's negligible for us.
it's negligible,
Yeah.
really. It's a means to try to incentivize people to do something. So,
I know life happens that may keep somebody from doing it after they bought the building, but if you are not going to be able to invest in it, then you shouldn't buy the building.
Right.
exactly. Okay, all right. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. And now we come to our long-awaited adoption of the Southside Revitalization Plan, and I'll ask our city clerk to please read it.
A proposed motion, the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance abolishing ordinance number 2023-06-8782 and establishing and approving simplified Southside incentives for homeowners and developers, and authorizing the Director of Planning and Urban Renewal and Community Development Agency to administer the incentive programs and provide financial assistance to eligible applicants for improvements, repair, remodel, reconstruction of existing homes, and construction of new homes to support the Southside Revitalization Plan. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance repeals the existing pilot Southside Housing and Business Incentive Grants and their corresponding ordinance, and introduces the expanded homeowner and developer incentive grants for new housing redevelopment and construction as part of the Southside Revitalization Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
We've talked about it a lot.
We have been, and I know that, the planning department's worked real hard, talked with a lot of developers, and they're ready to get started on phase one. And so I would ask our city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Bray.
Aye. All right. Congratulations on both those ordinances being adopted. And we have one ordinance to introduce tonight, and I'll let the city clerk read it, and then Deputy Chief Cherry is going to come up and talk about it.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 42 of the Code of Ordinances related to rental occupancy permits and inspections. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance amends Chapter 42, Article 3 of the Code of Ordinances relating to residential rental occupancy permits. The amended ordinance removes the definition for nuisance and now instead includes a definition for safety issue, meaning conditions constituting distinct fire hazards or which endanger life, health, safety, or welfare of others. The ordinance includes the addition of the landlord and/or landlord's agent's email address in the application for the rental occupancy permit. The amended ordinance changes the time period in which the initial inspection shall occur following application for a rental occupancy permit from 3 to 5 business days. As amended, the ordinance will allow the code official to confer with engineers, building, electrical, or fire inspectors as deemed necessary to determine compliance in any such area of expertise. In addition, landlords shall attest that he or she includes his or her lease agreement, provisions providing a mechanism under which the landlord and/or code official may enter the premises with reasonable notice. As to revocation of the rental occupancy permit for criminal acts or nuisance, a provision is added permitting the code official to reference local law enforcement or criminal records as well as final orders relating to nuisances, and adds the code official may take status of criminal proceedings into consideration such that a mere charge may not automatically result in revocation. The amended ordinance provides that unless otherwise prohibited by law, an order that tenants vacate a rental dwelling due to denial, suspension, or revocation of a rental occupancy permit shall not otherwise prohibit the occupation of the premises for purposes other than as a rental unit. A provision is added to provide for a certificate of compliance for rental dwelling units which have no visible and determinable violations of plumbing, electrical, building, or fire codes. A provision is also added which allows for compliant rental dwelling units to be placed on a publicly available list of compliant properties, advising prospective tenants that as of the last inspection, the subject property was not noted to have any visible violations of plumbing, electrical, building, or fire codes. Removal for the compliant properties list may result from condemnation, evacuation under the fire code, 3 failed follow-up inspections, and landlord's refusal to permit entry for inspection on 2 or more occasions. Tenant's refusal to permit entry on 1 occasion shall not subject the landlord from removal from the compliant properties list of landlord provides the reasonable proof that landlord provided reasonable notice of the city's inspection to tenant under the terms of the lease or rental agreement. In setting a policy for the systematic inspection and prioritization of all rental dwelling units, the amended ordinance clarifies that 5 or more code violations and 5 reports of police calls for illegal drug offenses, prostitution, violent crimes, or disorderly conduct may be factors in the system for prioritizing inspections. A provision is added indicating that absent exigent circumstances, nothing in this ordinance shall be interpreted to override privacy protections afforded to tenants by law. Finally, the amended ordinance removes the provision indicated that a valid occupancy permit must be produced prior to the establishment of utility service.
So moved.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager. So I've brought Kristen with me also because there's been a lot of legal work that has gone into this ordinance change. So a couple of highlights that I have, if y'all have any questions. The goal is to make sure all rentals meet minimum life safety standards. So the minimum is, they don't have to supersede anything, just the minimum. I want to point out that hotels and apartment buildings are inspected by the fire marshal every year per state law. So those will not be included in this ordinance. We're doing them anyway. So those do not apply for.
So what is included in this?
Single-family dwellings and a duplex. Anything above a duplex is considered a regulated building that we do through the fire marshal side.
Okay.
So we want to make sure we're clear on that. As Lindsay said, we will have a list for approved rentals. That anybody that is looking for rental property in the city will have a list of ones that are approved and have passed inspections. The changes that we're making are recommendations from Kentucky League of Cities on, statewide rental programs. So we are changing our ordinance to be following in line with what they recommend. The most significant change is there's no longer subjective things in this. It's strictly by the code. So in other words, if I think this house needs to be repainted and one of y'all don't think it needs to be repainted, stuff like that we're kind of eliminating. So if it's electrical, what code references we can specify. As mentioned, there will be a $100 initial cost on the first inspection, then $50 a year to renew. Our starting point for this list will be obtained from finance. They already have a landlord list. However, they have about 1,200 property owners listed. But with that, their list, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephanie, includes all commercial rental property. So we'll have to go through that and kind of weed out what we're going to inspect and what we're not. Then all appeals to this will go to the Code Enforcement Board after they have the opportunity to appeal to either myself or Battalion Chief Pittman. Kristen, you got anything to add?
The only thing I have to add is that in reference to citing to specific codes and removing the subjective criteria, it was specifically brought to our attention by Kentucky League of Cities that there are issues with referring to properties and citing them or removing property owners' rights or tenants' rights related to unfit or substandard conditions. Well, what you think is unfit or substandard may differ from what the next person thinks is unfit or substandard. So we sort of clarified and made sure that everything will reference the fire code, the electrical code, the building code, plumbing, so that both property owners and tenants and our code officials know exactly where to go to look for what is required by the code and by Paducah's ordinance.
What about mobile homes? Are you guys doing mobile homes too? Is mobile home courts?
Go ahead.
Yes, if it's mobile home, we'll still be having that on the list.
You guys will be busy, backed up busy.
So let me make sure I understand. You made a statement earlier, Jerry, that if someone thinks that the home needs to be painted.
Yes, sir, I just use that example,
And
yeah.
so unpack that for me, and you said, unpack that for me if you don't mind.
Well-
That whole statement, what you're trying to.
In my opinion, might be different than your opinion
Right.
on if this looks bad, needs to be repainted, or if it don't. So unless it's a specific code reference, there's no discretionary,
I got you.
I guess you might say, with the inspector, they have to be able to say, yes, this is a violation
Okay,
of
I'm with you.
this particular code first, whatever the hazard is.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. So if there is a house that has passed inspection before, something happens and some things mess up, did I miss the provision and what is required to get that house to where it needs to be?
Yes, if we get a complaint on the house from a tenant or landlord, either one, yes, we'll go do a follow-up inspection
Okay.
to see if something's happened since the last time we inspected, yes.
So if something has happened, then what kind of timeline do they have to get it in compliance?
We'll give them the normal 30 days to get it, unless it's an immediate life safety issue that we
Right.
feel like the power needs to be pulled or something like that.
Okay.
And so the only cost associated with this ordinance would be that $100 inspection for the first time, then $50 a year after that?
Per unit is correct. Unless it's a duplex on one property, then it'll be $50 for the duplex.
So if you got 60 units, it's $100 per unit, that's another tax, plus the $50 inspection, plus if somebody don't like something. I don't think it's fair. I think everybody's rent's gonna go up $200 a month, $300 a month over this.
Sir, I understand. Why don't you set up an appointment with somebody and talk through this? Greg, would you talk to this gentleman?
Sure.
Do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you talk through it and we'll try to listen to your concerns. It's about the money, the $100.
Yeah, but it's a big expense that you're putting on the landlord, plus time, plus effort. We have to go through the city before we ever rent the house, have them come out and see it. But if you guys are talking about 1,200 landlords, I'm not talking about units. I personally have 60 to 70 units. So now I have to, every time a unit empties, sometimes I have a unit empty 3 times a year, and now I gotta pay $100 just to be in the business again, and pay the property tax that's been raised up double and triples in the past 5 years. Property values have tripled around here. I don't think they've tripled, but everybody around here thinks they've tripled. I used to rent houses for $300 to $500 a month. Any 2-bedroom house now is between $800 to $1,200 a month. You guys are raising those houses. again.
Sir, we're not raising the assessments come from someone else, but I would suggest that you make an appointment, and I'll be glad to sit in on that, and talk with you. I mean, what we're trying to do is make sure that rental units are safe, and they follow code.
I understand, but at the end of the day, the cost is going to be passed down to the tenant.
So your suggestion, again, I don't think we ought to have that discussion here. Make an appointment, and I'll be glad to sit in with you. Okay? Thank you.
I'm concerned obviously about the assessing on the landlords. I get that. But I'm more concerned, why are your faces all frowned up there? Okay, come on, let me get this out. Okay? I'm more concerned about the places that people have been living in.
Right.
What I have seen with my own eyes from landlords who are charging exorbitant amounts of rents. Water is just all kinds of mess. But yet they kindly, excitingly collect rent from people and then have no issue with putting people out on the street if the rent is not paid. That's what I'm concerned about. And that's why I obviously will be in favor of this, because we have to take care of citizens. We have to take care of people who cannot take care of themselves. And to continue to allow that to go on would be absolutely a sin and a shame.
Well, just like in anything that we do, there's two sides. I mean, there's the safety side and the human side, and then there's a landlord on the other side, and there's a lot of landlords out there that are doing it right.
And those who are doing it right, they're not at all being penalized in any way. It's those landlords who are not doing it right and who have no desire to do it right. That's what I'm jumping at.
So, question I've got, is it, so this is designed to really deal with our problem landlords. We've got landlords that are not a problem. Is it one size fits all?
Yes, sir. To be fair across the board, I think we have to do it as one side fits all.
There's no way to moderate it so we know that we're getting complaints on one landlord, or we know that there's issues with a particular property or properties to
I don't know.
to focus
legally-
our attention on those areas versus
There,
a shotgun approach, so to speak?
so generally, by law, we should treat everyone the same. And that's how it's laid out. But there is a provision you'll see in there, in setting the policy for inspections that indicates that the city should be taking into consideration essentially problem properties. So properties where there have been condemnations, or properties where there have been frequent complaints or frequent code violations before, or failures for reinspection. There's a provision there that sort of allows the city to revisit these properties more frequently. Although generally, in terms of being inspected and your fees and the rights that are afforded to property owners and tenants, it's fair across the board and it's even.
I mean, when we began the process of introducing this ordinance, I mean, I knew there was going to be landlords out there that would be concerned about it. So that was anticipated. And I do think that we ought to listen, to everybody. It's the first reading. So, we hadn't put any, the ordinance hadn't been established yet. But certainly, Greg set an appointment up with this gentleman, and I'll sit in, and I want to understand, the issues there.
Correct.
And, but I will say, to Commissioner's point, we do not want people being taken advantage of by landlords who are not taking care of their places. You know, that's not the kind of city that any of us want to be.
Well, and I think I've shared, some pictures with all of y'all throughout the last couple of years that shows some of the conditions some of these houses are in. We found one last week that they had a gas-fired hot water heater that was venting into the house instead of venting outside.
Crazy.
So, that's the type of stuff that we're trying to eliminate, and we'll go from there. Any more questions?
So Greg, we, just for clarification, this is not a new ordinance. This
No.
is an ordinance that's been on our books, and we're only taking the opportunity to amend that based on recommendation from legal and what Kentucky League of Cities has advised we should look at, correct?
Yes, but we haven't been enforcing the ordinance that's on our books
Right.
now.
Right.
And what we're proposing to do is enforce this ordinance. So it's, it's,
Putting some teeth into it.
right. Go ahead.
I don't want to, my understanding is that individual homes get this inspection. What, the multifamilies, my understanding is I get one for multifamily, and they don't get the $100 tax.
No, the multifamily dwellings such as apartment buildings are regulated by the state. It's regulated by the state fire marshal's office, so in turn, since we have a local fire marshal, we do those ourselves. So they do not qualify for this.
They don't get the 40 unit building.
No, no.
So people who own single families are not being.
Yes.
That's not fair.
Well, I talked to one property owner today that owns both apartment buildings and single-family dwellings, and he was supportive of the thing. He said it wasn't any different from what he's dealing with already, so.
I know who's talking about, he's got more apartments than houses.
Okay. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay, we're all good?
Thank you.
Okay, we will move to comments. City manager, comments?
You heard Taylor mention the number of team members it takes to pull off the parade, and just wanted to highlight that again, is that it's not, while our Parks Department, over 60 additional people out there during the parade, and we doesn't even count the public works departments that are having to go out and do that, the cleanup and everything. So I just wanted to recognize that we enjoy providing that opportunity of a parade for our citizens, but it does take a lot of work, and I appreciate all of our team members that give up their time and away from their families to put that on for our community. And the other thing was, just as a reminder, that we, at this time, do not plan to have our second regularly scheduled meeting of the month, and so this will be our final planned meeting for December. Yep.
All right, comments from commissioners?
I would like to ask if we could set up a tour of the new sportsplex.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
I
it's an
was out
easy.
there the other day, and it's pretty
Yeah.
muddy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only.
I mean, can we just drive through it, or?
Well, you're going to need someone to
No.
drive you
Yeah.
through it.
Okay,
Yeah.
'cause
Yes.
I haven't been offered a tour, and I'd
Yeah.
really like to go
Yeah,
on a
sure.
tour.
Yeah.
You got some boots?
I do. I'm a farm girl.
I just wanted to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Thomas.
Well, all I wanted to say was just, it's the end of the year and my first year on the commission. I just wanted to publicly thank all of you for working with me, for helping guide me in situations, while also accepting and listening to my perspective that I brought to the table as well. So just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and just thank y'all for all the work we've been able to do as a city. So thank y'all.
Well, it's been a challenge to one, but no. No, I'm just kidding. It's been great. You brought a new perspective on a lot of things, and it's opened our eyes to a lot of things, and so we appreciate your perspective. It's important.
I was going to ask if he had Christmas gifts for all of us. It's been a real challenge. No,
Or a crisp $50 bill.
To leave you alone.
I just wanted to, I was excited. The Christmas parade was absolutely awesome. And I just wanted to thank the judges and their good taste for the decisions that they've made.
My comment was the Christmas parade was beautiful. It was great. And my thing is, I want to point out, it's a service the city provides using city taxpayers' money for the entire community. And so 60 people, that's a lot of money that we spend on that. I'm not complaining about it, I'm just saying,
Explain.
people need to recognize that there's a lot of things the city pays for that they enjoy that may not be a taxpayer for, so that's it.
Good point.
Thank you. Okay, we do have an executive session tonight, and we do not anticipate taking any action afterwards. And I'll ask the city clerk to please read the motion.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners go into closed session for discussion of matters pertaining to the following topics. Proposed or pending litigation is permitted by KRS 61.810 subsection 1C. Issues which might lead to the appointment, dismissal, or disciplining of an employee is permitted by KRS 61.810 subsection 1F. And a specific proposal by a business entity where public discussion of the subject matter would jeopardize the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business entity as permitted by KRS 61.810 subsection 1G.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye.